Whether you're outside grilling, mowing the lawn, changing dirty diapers, or maybe, just maybe, you finally got a moment to sit down, relax, and listen to your favorite podcast. Whatever you're doing, wherever you're at, thanks for being here. And of course, thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Jay, but I'm not here to talk about Young Dad Podcast. This is episode 250, and I have a amazing announcement for you guys. I am excited to talk about this. I am over the moon to launch this. I am really just excited to see what happens next in the next phase of my personal podcasting journey. And so I've done 250 plus episodes. This is officially episode 250, not counting any previous patriarchy principles, which I think had 13 or 15. So that would be like 205. My original broadcast had like three, so 270. Young Dad Roundtables, there's been three of those, so like 270 something. A lot of podcasts, let's just say that. I've spent a lot of time behind a microphone. I've talked to a lot of people. I've shared the highs, the lows, the ins, the outs, the good, the bad, the beautiful, and ugly of people's stories, their journeys, what they've been through, and how they got through it, hoping to give you a blueprint to help you with what you're going through and give you a space to where you can relate to somebody. And so that's been my goal and my purpose, to reach 1,000,000 dads. Now, I'm not there yet to reach 1,000,000 people, whether moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, grown-ups, adults, caregivers, whoever, right? I want to reach 1,000,000 people, and we're not there yet. And so the journey continues with that goal. But the goal is just to reach one person with every episode, to where it can be an impact and it can make a difference in one person's life. And I want to help others who share that common goal. I feel it's so important when you're wanting to do a podcast. I talk to people all the time, man, I wish I could do that, and I have no clue where to start. Man, that's crazy. You got to 250. I can't even think past episode like 3. And I was just talking to a friend yesterday on the Young Dad Roundtable before we hit record, and he was talking about how he wished he had someone that would have walked him through step by step, given him real honest feedback, and not just hoity-toity whatever kind of support that you would get from any other random Joe Schmo that you could find on the internet as a podcast coach kind of thing. And so I thought, I've done this a few times where I've talked to some people, I posted those episodes, I've walked people through like Riverside, and walked some people through ChatGPT. I've gotten some people through Podmatch. I've gotten some people, just up and going with what they wanted to do. And it's so fulfilling because the podcasting space is so wide open, and it needs just amazing voices. It needs your voice. Maybe you did start a podcast and it failed miserably, and you're like, I really want to get back into it. I still have the microphone. I still have the soundboard. I still have the programs and everything. Like, I still have the fire to do it, but gosh, I just don't know where to start. I don't want to fail again, because that's just going to destroy me. Or I don't have a big enough production. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I don't have the resources. Guess what? You don't need a ton of time. You don't need a ton of resources. You don't need a ton of money. This is doable at a small level. I've always thought, the best way to start a podcast is going to be with minimal things required, right? Like, you just need headphones, you need a microphone, or even just AirPods and a phone. You can start. You can start. But if you start that way, I've noticed this several times where I wanted to start something new. I started the patriarchy principles. I had a clear direction. I knew what I was doing. I only got through episode 15 of that one before I just, kind of let it sunset and wrote it off into the wayside. Biracial broadcast. My dad and I had a great idea. It really was great, but we had no clear vision. We had no plan. I started Evergreen Report, which is actually a lot of fun. I got a ton of content, a ton of episodes, but again, I didn't plan properly. I didn't have enough. I didn't have a vision. I didn't really come up with a really good episode structure. I was trying to do way too much with too little. I wasn't integrating tools like ChatGPT. I wasn't using good social systems. I wasn't really seeing like the growth in the analytics. I was having great conversations on that podcast. I was talking about things that were making an impact in the state of Washington. I was talking to school board leaders and truly making a voice, because you have to start at home and then you go to your community. That's where I was. I was trying to get to the community and talk to people, and I had great conversations, and I learned so much through that process. So I've learned now through 250 episodes of Young Dad Podcast, through the patriarchy principles, through Evergreen Report, through biracial broadcast, I've learned what works and I've learned what doesn't work. I've learned how to leverage tools like ChatGPT, Riverside, and Podmatch to really increase my momentum and my reach to different audiences and with different people. I've learned tools like Calendly, Google Docs to really help myself as well. I've learned Riverside and all it has included in it, Heck, I've been able to work with great brands, Forefathers Apparel. I've worked with Triad Math. I've worked with Danos for a short period of time. I worked with some other brands for just for moments in time. Right now, I work with Mental, the mental app for men. Excuse me. Like you can build real meaningful connections in the podcast space. I've met amazing, amazing friends of mine that are just so great. They're like true friends that I've met through the podcast space. I've made real, honest connections in the podcast space, and I know it's possible. If it's possible for me, I started with a freaking blue snowball microphone on a little like tripod stand and had it hooked up to the computer. And I think I was just using an old webcam, and I just started. I hit record. Me and my brother, we started Young Dad Podcast. Before Young Dad Podcast, actually, to give you more history, there was Ball Boy Blog. There was Ball Boy Talk. That was there. Along the way, there's been Dynasty Down Under, a fantasy basketball show. There's been sports podcasts. There's been so many things I've done that I've had fun with. I've talked to minor league baseball players. I've talked to professional baseball players. I've talked to professional football players. I've talked to just so many amazing people. I've talked to millionaires. I've talked to people who had it all, lost it all. I've talked to people who lost their kids. I've talked to families. I've talked to couples. I've talked about mental health. I've talked about youth issues. I've talked about baseball. I've talked about football, basketball. I've talked about so many different topics because those are all the things that interest me and I can talk about them. That's the great thing about having a podcast is you can talk about whatever you want. You can talk about whatever you want. But guess what? Your podcast may never make it past episode 3. Not because it's a bad idea, but it's because the process gets overwhelming, tech, guest, promotion, and consistency. So why is that? Most podcasts never make it past episode 10. There's 4 million podcasts in the world. There's only about 300,000 active podcasts. So do that math, whatever it is. There's a lot more dormant podcasts that never made it past episode 8, 5, 4, whatever, 6, 7, all that fun stuff. There's so many great podcasts that just failed. So many friends that I've made along the way that had a podcast, they were doing really well. I just seen it fade into oblivion or fade into the podcast sunset. But they had such good podcasts. They had a strong voice. They had strong opinions. They had all the great tools to have a great podcast, but they weren't consistent. They didn't have a clear vision. They didn't have good structure. They didn't have strategy, and they didn't have someone coaching them along the way. That's why I created, in a long roundabout way, Pod Launch Accelerator, which will give you everything you need: structure, accountability, feedback, and support to go from just an idea to a fully launched podcast with 5 to 10 episodes and a plan for long-term growth. In 8 weeks, you will define your show's vision, voice, and audience. You will build your episode structure. You'll master tools like Riverside, Podmatch, AI. You'll set up your YouTube and your other social system for visibility. We'll launch 5 real episodes together, and we'll walk away with growth analytics and next steps. Plus, you'll get 5 post-launch sessions for feedback, strategy, and scaling. So I'm really going to walk you through your first 10 episodes to ensure you get past that episode 10 hump and you have a clear plan for success. So how it works each week: live coaching with me, templates and worksheets, action plans, feedback checkpoints, and access to recordings and materials. You'll walk away with a fully launched podcast, not just a theory. There's different tiers, of course. There's the beta cohort, the launch starter. This is great for independent self-starters who want guidance and structure without one-on-one support. This will include 8 weeks of guided curriculum, weekly live group sessions, templates, worksheets, launch checklists, private community chat on Discord, access to replays as well. This is great for first-time podcasters who are on a budget, who just need a roadmap and accountability. And it's great to have a community around you. And I want to shout out Steven and Laura. They're the hosts of the Midday Movies podcast. Used to be Midday Musing. They're absolutely fantastic people. They've been on the podcast. But the PNW podcast collective is such a supportive network of each other. There's different podcasters from all over the Northwest, and we're all in this one collective together. I'm no longer a part of it, but when I was, it was so supportive. We hyped each other up. We shared each other's content, and that's what you need. You need a community. You can't do it alone. Yes, you may be a solo podcast. You may just talk to guest people, talk about things you find interesting: sports, media, cats, dogs, whatever, right? Whatever your niche is, we'll define that too. But you have to have a community. So then we have our core program, which is our Launch Accelerator. This is for creators who want high touch coaching. So a lot of one-on-one interactions, feedback, and fully supported launch. This includes everything in that starter I just mentioned, including 5 post-launch coaching sessions, personalized feedback on episode outlines and scripts, one-on-one office hours, 2 bonus sessions, social media and branding feedback, and then access to me via DMs as well during the program. This is best for serious podcasters who want confidence, structure, and personal guidance from start to finish. And then we have our elite private coaching. I have elite private coaching as well. This one's limited space, limited spots, but for those who want private one-on-one support, custom strategy, and hands-on feedback. So it goes from doing with you to a lot of doing for and with together. So you get everything in the first 2 tiers plus weekly one-on-one calls. So instead of going through a group for the curriculum, we're going to do that one-on-one together. We're going to have a personalized launch strategy plan. We're going to have hands-on guest outreach coaching. So I'm going to help you master some different tools to land amazing guests, full content audit and feedback on your trailer in your first 3 to 5 to 10 episodes, depending on what we agree on. And then, of course, 30-day follow-up after the program ends. So you're still going to have access to me for 30 days, that first month after we get through that first 8 weeks and launch those first few episodes. So this is going to be best for coaches, business orders, or creators who want a personal launch partner, someone to really make sure that you're successful, because you need this podcast to be successful. And I absolutely want that. There's different payment options available. We can talk about that one-on-one. I'm not going to give that away right now. I'm also not going to talk about pricing right now up front, because there are different varying offers and things like that that I am planning on running as well. So if you're ready to launch your show, join the next Pod Launch Accelerator and go from I should start a podcast to my show just dropped on Spotify. You can go to the link in my Instagram bio, which is at Pod Launch Coaching, and you can book your free discovery call with me. And with that, I want to talk a little bit about what's included in the weeks, and kind of give you an overview. So your overview that we're going to have here, and I would love to show you all this, but I don't want to give it away for free, right? There's a reason that I'm talking about this through a podcast and talking about this, because if I gave it all to you for free, that's not the point. The point is for me to make a little bit of cheddar, and to also help you really get that individualized support. Because if we were doing this for free, you're going to fade, I'm going to fade. But if we're committed and we put some money behind it, we're going to engage and we're going to commit to it 100%. So phase 1 is going to be our discovering the vision. The goal of this phase is to define your why, your audience, and your show's identity. We're going to do things like clarify our purpose, define the persona. We're going to choose format. We're going to brainstorm, and we're going to create different concepts for social media and things like that. Phase 2, we're going to build your episode framework and content foundation. The reason this is so important is because you have to have consistent episodes. If your episodes are random, chaotic, they all sound, look, feel different, that's going to be a big turnoff for the listener. Heck, that would be a big turnoff for me. When I listen to some of the best podcasts out there, Joe Rogan, it's a consistent format every time. When I listen to PBD, it's a consistent podcast every time. When I listen to the fantasy footballers, it's a consistent format every single time. And so that's what we need to do. We have to have a consistent format that works. Right. And I'm going to share with you what I do personally, and then we can tweak it to match what you want. We're going to build our topic bank. We're going to outline your first few episodes. We're going to choose guests, and we're going to record a practice episode. So we're really getting off the ground going in phase 2 and really starting to apply things right away. We're outcome driven with Pod Launch Coaching. Step 3, we're going to do all the technical stuff. So we're going to master tools that we use, different tools that I'm going to recommend for you. We're going to run tech tests, camera, mic, Wi-Fi backup plans. We're going to organize folders. We're going to get really tech savvy. We're going to make sure that we're 100% locked in on the tech side. One thing that I want to make sure it's important to mention, if we sign up and you don't have all the things included, guess what? Each tier in the pricing, there's an option to add on my recommended microphone, camera, boom arm, soundboard. I already have it all pre-selected on Amazon. So literally, if you sign up, I get your address, I'm going to go to my Amazon cart and I'm going to get that shipped to you right after you sign up. And we're going to go for it from there. Phase 4, workflow and system. We're going to build repeatable system for consistency. Because if you're just out here freeballing it, for lack of a better term, and you're just like, man, this one doesn't make sense, or this one's different, and you're trying to do all these different things, you're trying to do way too much, cover 12 different topics in one episode, it's not going to work. Trust me, that's why I failed with Evergreen Report. I was trying to do way too much. I really wish if I could go back and do that podcast over again, I would take it and I would just do three issues per episode. I would just go boom, boom, boom. I would have 3 segments, boom, boom, boom. Maybe I would rotate segments occasionally, maybe add on a 4th, but I would go boom, boom, boom. Everything consistent. If I had a guest, I would have a format for the guest to go boom, boom, boom. So it made sense. It was consistent and it was amazing. That was the hardest part. We're going to create workflows together. So workflows that work for us. For days that we record, release, we're going to draft promotional things. We're going to choose different hosting, and we're going to make some really great progress in phase 4. Phase 5, that's our launch and our growth. We're going to go live and we're going to start building momentum. We're going to get connected to all the podcast platforms. We're going to launch our social media. We're going to talk to people. We're going to start talking about our podcast because we care about it. We want people to listen to it. We want them to rate it, review it, share it. Because it's important to us. And the people that know if it's important to us, it's going to be important to them too. Back to phase 5. We're going to track it. We're going to learn about our numbers. We're going to gather feedback, and we're going to continue to stay consistent. We're going to release, promote, repeat. We're going to do repeatable systems. Those systems we already built, we're going to repeat them. And then in phase 6, we're going to be talking about mindset all through the way. Because if you're having difficulties, guess what? I want to talk about it. Fun fact, I have a master's degree in developmental psychology. So if you're going through it, you're struggling, it's too heavy, you're feeling like the brain stuff, mental health part of it, you're feeling like some content burnout. Guess what? We're going to work through that. I can work through that with you. I'm not going to give you therapy, but guess what? We're going to be able to talk about that and maybe find some ways to cope and work through that as well. And then we're going to talk long-term strategy so we can sustain our creative energy. We're going to talk about when breaks look like, how long are our seasons going to be. We're going to plan all the things for long-term success. We're going to set realistic expectations. We're going to be setting SMART goals all throughout the different phases of the program. We're going to just really just have so much fun along the way. We're going to keep evolving our content through phase 6. We're going to keep celebrating. We're going to stay in touch. We're going to be real close after spending all this time together. Because realistically, we're probably spending 8 hours to like 15 plus hours together throughout these different phases. So we're going to get to know each other pretty well. I'm going to get to know you. You're going to get to know me. And of course, I'm going to get to know you through your show. I'm just like my guests and my people, my audience has gotten to know me through Young Dad Podcast, through the last 249 episodes and through the next 249 episodes, 250, 300, however long. Goal is 500 right now. If I'm halfway to 500, why stop now? Let's keep firing. Let's keep the momentum going. There's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of opportunity for us to talk about. And so that's our structure. That's what it looks like. Let's see. Is there anything else that I haven't mentioned? I talked about pricing, how that's going to be more of an individual kind of thing that we're going to talk about. Let's see. And we're going to be running plays. I have talking points. We're going to have deliverables, checkpoints, measurables. This will come with a guide. There will be a Google Doc or a PDF, whichever version you prefer, sent to you of a coaching workbook. We're not just going to freeball it. We're already organized because organization is a huge part. Again, so we're going to be doing all this stuff. We're going to be working through a pre-designed workbook every week. We have action items, prompts, reflection. I think reflection's huge. A clear takeaway, reflection, and action that we're going to have every single week. We're going to have CTRAs every single week. I love CTRAs. I'm a big fan of them. Really started using them a lot on the podcast recently. Let's see. Is there really anything else? No, I don't think so. This is what it is, right? So this is the program. This is what Pod Launch Accelerator is. Pod Launch Coaching is. This is a curriculum developed by me. And I'm really want to stress that I have learned, I have failed, I've succeeded in podcasting, right? I'm not going to say I'm a multi-millionaire off my podcast because I'm not. That wouldn't be true. But I will say I've hit success by my own measures. I've reached people. I've made a difference in people's lives. I see comments. I see people relating. I see people connecting. I get DMs. And it's so important to have your voice. If you have a message, if you have messages, if you have hot takes, if you have great opinions, if you have unlimited ball knowledge, fun fact knowledge, you love movies, you love TV shows, you love candy, you love soda, you love cats, dogs, horses, you just have expanding knowledge. If you want to do a podcast with your significant other, talk about relationship. Maybe you guys have a different spin on your relationship than other people. You want to talk about that lifestyle. Maybe you don't want to do a podcast with your adult kid. Maybe you've been through recovery. Maybe you've been through it. Maybe you're struggling. Maybe you love Star Wars. Maybe you love crystals. There's endless options. Whatever it is that you care about, I guarantee there's millions of people out there that also care about it that would listen to you. But you don't have to have, I know you can do it on your own if you really wanted to. You can say, okay, this is great, Jay. Cool. I think I can do it on my own. Cool. Go for it. And if you do it, I'm going to be so proud of you. But if you feel like, okay, I have something I want to say, I want to make a podcast, I want to be successful, I have a business, but I want to have a podcast with it. I'm an auto detailer and I want to talk about detailing. It seems like there's not a niche. You know how many freaking people out there that would love to hear about your tips, your tricks, your process when it comes to detailing? Show them short clips of what you do, record everything you do, throw that into the podcast, talk about the dirty cars, talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. Maybe you saw blood once, you had to call the cops, something. Right? Even if you think what you have is boring, someone else might find it incredibly interesting because they're interested in the same thing, right? If you've been through it, you have a story, you can also now create a blueprint for the next person. That's one thing that I did with Young Dad Podcast, as I wanted to be a blueprint for how people got through the different things that they were going through. so that now you, the next person, have a blueprint of how you can get through it too. And blueprints are blueprints, they're up for change. But that's what inspired me to start Young Dad Podcast, because I listened to Single Dad Reboot. Shout out Craig Youngcrant, great friend of mine, great friend of the show. It's just been so impactful, because that's what you need. I needed someone, I needed a blueprint for when I was going through at the time to get me through, and his show was that for me. I've created a show to be that for others. You've been through stuff, you've experienced things, you have hobbies, you have interests, you have things you care about. Maybe it's video games and you want to review video games. Great, go for it. I love that for you. Maybe it's doing a podcast with your kid to review toys. Great, I love that for you. Do it. Let's just do it. If the idea's there, the passion's there, the creative energy's there, let's do it. Stop waiting. Let's go from idea to posted in 8 weeks or less. Maybe we speed through this curriculum and we get through it, right? You're just fired up. You want to get through it in from 8 weeks to 4 weeks and meet twice a week. We'll do it. We'll make it work, right? We're going to do, we're going to, I'm going to coach you through those 8 weeks to help you go from idea to publish. It's consistent with a clear vision, strong voice, and scalable system. The guide that I have for you is to confidently help you lead your podcast. Talking points, action steps, deliverables, checkpoints, and of course, notes and feedback, and of course, accountability, which is huge. We're going to learn tools, AI, Riverside. We're going to talk about social media. We're going to learn other systems that are going to make your process simpler, easier, make it repeatable. It's going to be so fun, and we're going to have a great time doing it. And so I'm so excited to launch this. I'm so excited to talk about it. I'm so excited to get this out into the ether. Again, go to @Pod Launch Coaching on Instagram. Pod Launch Coaching. PodLaunchCoaching. Spelling's hard, guys. It's late, Sunday afternoon. Mariners are stressing me out. Please forgive me. And if you want to see what the Instagram looks like, I'm going to take you to it right now. Anyways, and I would love if you went and followed, listened to this podcast, you listened to a little bit, you got to the end here. I would love if you just went and followed and gave me a little bit of support on the podcast here, on the Instagram page. It's new, it's growing, it needs engagement. If you could follow, if you could comment on a post, if any of this stuff speaks to you, we're really talking about growth, mistakes, and things I would do differently so far. Of course, there's me, thumbs behind the microphone, just like now. See, it's real, it's legit. You can click right here. Got a couple links. Linktree, Pod Launch Coaching. If you go over to Spotify, you can look at my over 900 5-star reviews. If you go to Apple, you can see over 100 5-star and a bunch of amazing comments left there. And you can also go to the Facebook page, which I would love for you to support as well. If you click right here and go into Pod Launch Coaching, I go there. I'm going to be right here in the links. You can book your free call. Book your call, find your voice. You can follow me on Threads, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want to connect. It's all going to be there. You can book your call. It's super easy to go and book your call. Let's see. Where is it? I just want to show you how to do this to make it super easy for you. So you're going to follow the link. It's going to open in a new tab. You can select a 30-minute time. 30 minutes, all it takes. We're going to do a discovery call. I have availability 7 days a week. Depending on your time zone, it'll shift that. So if you hear this tomorrow, and 2 a.m. That's wrong. I need to fix that. I'm not available at 2 a.m. That's really weird. I'm going to fix that. Anyways, but you can book a time. I run between 5 a.m. To 8 a.m. and then also from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. for these discovery calls. So please book a discovery call, jump in, let's get after it. And until next time, right here on the Young Dad Podcast, I hope to see you over on Pod Launch Coaching. I hope to see you follow. If nothing else, I would love if you did that. We're going to be talking a lot about this, finding new ways to engage, finding new ways for us to connect. If there's something that you're interested in, shoot me a DM over on the Pod Launch Coaching page. I would love that if you did that and you connected with me there, it would be just amazing. And I would love you so much. Go ahead and give this podcast, if you're over on Spotify or YouTube, go ahead and give it a little bit of love, drop in the comments, drop a like, whatever you want to do, show your love for the podcast. And I would love if you continue to support Young Dad Podcast as well. Lots of amazing episodes coming out over the next really 6 months. If I could tell you all of them and tell you what each and every single one of them is about, I would. But we're talking about faith. We're talking about fatherhood. We're talking money. We're talking finances. We're talking just not awful, the good, the bad, the terrible, the ugly. We're trying new hooks. We're trying new things all the time. We're constantly trying to learn and adjust into what the people want, taking feedback into account. 250 episodes. If I did everything the same, it wouldn't be a good podcast. If I did everything the same since day one. So we're trying new things. We're building. We're learning. We're growing. Some of the things we have coming out, we're talking neurodiversities, bipolar, divorce on adults, coaching, picky eaters, faith, love, structure, grinding it out, bedtime from thousands of miles away, anger, healing, faith, fighting, talking about fatherhood, step parenting, finding the funny, calming, character, youth sport, investing in what matters the most, brotherhood, men's group, autism. See, we have so many amazing things coming up. Talking about faith, we're talking about all these amazing things. We're talking about losing it all and rebuilding. So many more great things to come with the Young Dad podcast. So stay tuned. We have an amazing 7 months of episodes coming up. We release every Monday at midnight Pacific time. So it's right there in your podcatcher, right when you wake up in the morning. This one will be there today, October 20th. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry, what's my ending there? Remember that fatherhood doesn't come with a manual, but it should come with a podcast. And with that, make sure if you had your snack and you had your juice box, make sure you clean it up, throw away the trash so the wife doesn't yell at you. And until next time, right here on the Young Dad Podcast. And I sure do hope to see you become a client of Pod Launch Coaching.